there's stages in that process where the ratios are abnormal that if they fix 3% here, 5% there, 10% there, you can get a result where most of my clients I work with, we're growing at least 100% in a 12-month period. Hey there, I'm Martell, serial entrepreneur, investor, and creator of SaaS Academy. In this episode, I'm going to share with you what is the difference. Let's define these things around an SDR, a BDR, an AE, or a CSM so that you can get clear on what the pipeline flow should look like so you can increase what's called your sales velocity. And be sure to stay to the end where I'm going to tell you how to get access to an exclusive resource called the Rocket Demo Builder, where you can close deals twice as fast, twice as big. I know it's a big promise, but we're gonna get into it. Let's do this. So if you're new to my stuff, I have been in the SaaS space for almost 25 years, okay? Building technology companies, scaling organization, raising venture capital, exiting companies. And one of my favorite things is to build the revenue engine, right? I always look at business through two different funnels, the revenue engine and the people engine. But the revenue engine is the funnest because that's where a lot of the velocity and throughput to build a really exciting company comes from, right? And if you've never done that, I mean, there's challenges like comp plans and managing sales coaching and making sure that people are saying the right thing to potential buyers, and you know that marketing sends over leads that the salespeople like, and there's always a conflict between marketing and sales and then customer success because sometimes you sell stuff to people you shouldn't have sold to, and then the onboarding team is dealing with all the downfall of that, and it just becomes crazy. But here's what I've discovered. I was recently working with one of my clients, and part of my private coaching that I do is we map out the whole almost buyer journey, okay? All the way from awareness to consideration, to purchase, to activation, engagement, and upsell, right? It's the whole bow tie funnel. And what you discover when you map it all out is there is so much waste typically amongst organization because they don't see the opportunities just dropping, right? They just look at their revenue numbers. They're like, oh, well, we added an extra 15K of monthly recurring revenue this month, or a lot of my clients are in the kind of the hundreds of thousands of dollars of new revenue every month. And they don't see that there's stages in that process where the ratios are abnormal that if they fix 3% here, 5% there, 10% there, you know, and 10% of the current number, if you stack all those things together, you can get a result where most of my clients I work with, we're growing at least 100% in a 12-month period because it's math. We just focus on the right things, right? To 2x your pipeline by understanding what is the audit process, what's mapping out what I call the flow process, the reports that you need to be able to manage this, and then tweak the different stages of that funnel to get your results. But to do that, you need to understand these 4 roles. I'm going to define them because they often get mixed up. People don't understand them, and we're going to make sure we get some clarity today. First one is sales development rep, SDR, okay? So sometimes you hear this called an MDR, a qualifier, a setter. There's all these different terminologies, right? But I want to normalize it and just say a sales development rep is responsible for finding opportunity, okay? And usually it's inbound, or it's in your CRM, or it's, you know, you can get super nerdy on this stuff, but it's really just qualifying the potential buyer, right? And to me, I just think that that's the way to think about it. You have prospects that are potential buyers, and the job of a sales development rep is to develop the sales opportunity. They wake up every day and they should be chatting with customers that come through the online forums. They should be chatting with customers that are chatting. They should be following up on email. They should be, you know, somebody downloads a lead magnet, they should reach out to them. They should call them. They should, you know, see if there's opportunities to upsell within organizations. Like the sales development rep's job is to execute the playbook to identify and qualify opportunities. And then, so once they qualify them, then they move them up to the next stage. But that is what a sales development rep is. So, you know, setters and a bunch of other things, people are like, well, we call them this. You can call them whatever you want. I'm just saying in the software world, in my world, it's an SDR, and that's what they do. Number 2, business development rep. So a BDR, a business development rep, in my language, it's outbound. Outbound means cold, okay? So I don't even consider if you have somebody that's engaging in chat, that's not even outbound. Outbound is they have ideally targeted accounts using what we call an account-based marketing process, and they're reaching out to the market and they're trying to find opportunities to create pipeline. Okay, so they're talking to the market, they're opening up chats, they're offering assessments, but a BDR is somebody that's dialing for dollars, they're emailing for dollars, they're literally sending out messages, obviously value add, personalize, all these things have to be true to get people to respond, to then qualify them and then kick them back up to your sales team to the next stage. But that is when people are like, what does a BDR do? A BDR is not an SDR. A business development rep does outbound. They make sure that the person has a need, they qualify them, they try to add value through that process, and once they feel like there's an opportunity there, then they move it up. Number 3 is account exec. So I call it an account exec inside my company, but these are the salespeople. These are people that are trained on how to, what we call it in our company is we teach our customers how to buy. These are not, some people call them closers, and I get it because it's a cool word and closers, you know, like get paid and all these things. There's all these chants in the sales mantra, but I mean, call it what you want. I honestly don't care. Sales rep, person who does demo, closer, but they are an account exec. Most of my clients that I coach, I tell them to call them product specialists because somebody wants to get on a call with a product specialist. They don't want to get on a call with a closer. So it's funny how like language you use sometimes through the organization gets propagated out to the customer. So you might call them setters and closers, and then somebody in support's like, hey, let me get you on a call with John. He's one of our closers. Well, the buyer does not want to get on a call with John, who's going to sell them. Like nobody's ever like, hey, get me on a call with a salesperson. I want to be sold. No, they want to be informed, right? So you want to give your demo process a cool name, and you want to give the title of your account executives, which account executive is a good term, obviously. And you want to teach them that your job is to teach them how to buy. It's to help them understand how to evaluate the opportunities in their business and how they should evaluate other vendors and solutions so that they can get the problem solved in a complete manner. But that is what an account executive is. That is a salesperson that is responsible for doing the sales call, the follow-up call. In an enterprise format, it's a complex sale. They're usually doing solution selling. They've got to get all the different parties involved, but they're responsible from, once it's qualified, they're taking the conversation all the way to paperwork, credit card, check, right? Like money in the bank. And that's the responsibility of the account exec. Number 4 is customer success manager. Okay, CSM, it's a big word. It's kind of a new industry. Back in the day, we used to call it customer retention. Then we call it revenue retention, then revenue expansion. But, some people call it onboarding, but I like to call it customer success because it just like, it's the right language, right? Because the job of a CSM, a customer success manager, is once the account exec has understood the pain, talked about the solution, and showed them how the product can solve their problems, they take that buyer and they bring them into the world of becoming a consumer of your product or service. And their skill set is no longer selling. Their skill set is really understanding how to connect your product to their pain and activate them. So a lot of companies don't think about it, but there's different phases to this. If you actually want a great book on this, Joey Coleman wrote a book called Never Lose a Customer. I think there's 7 different phases of customer journey. But the idea of mapping out the onboarding and getting everybody from this, what's the entry criteria and what's the exit criteria for that stage, and then moving them to the next stage, which might be the first 3 months of engagement and then ongoing and then renewals. That's usually the area the customer success manager spends time on, and it depends on the volume of your business, but you might have like a high touch or high volume, low touch model, or you can have a low volume, high touch model, depending on the price point. You can have dedicated CSMs per each account, or you might have kind of a rotating per function where one group of customer success managers just do activation or onboarding. But that is what CSM stands for. It is a relatively new skill set, a new area for a lot of companies. It's been around in SaaS for a while, software as a service. But new in other industries, but it's catching on because it just makes sense. They are a revenue generating department. Usually you monitor their churn and their ability to activate and get people retained and upsell. That's another opportunity. But that is what CSM stands for. So quick recap. Sales development rep does inbound qualifying. Business development rep does outbound pipeline generation or opportunity generation. Number 3, account exec. These are the quote unquote closers. And number 4, customer success manager. These are the people who are responsible for onboarding and managing the customer experience. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I want to share with you an exclusive resource. Below, click the link. It's called the Rocket Demo Builder. It will help you double your win rates or increase your win rates in half the time. So click the link below to learn my 9-box model for following a prospect or a buyer through a sales process that's allowed me to generate tens of millions of dollars in revenue personally as a salesperson. It's what I still use all the time. If I'm doing any call that kind of looks like a sales call, I pull out my Rocket Demo Builder and I follow the exact same model that I'm gonna give to you guys. So click the link below to download your copy. And if you like this video, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and please let me know below in the comments, what is the number one thing you took away? What did you like the most? What is gonna have the biggest impact on your life? That would be a real treat for you to leave that below. And as per usual, I wanna challenge you to live a bigger life, go even bigger, and a bigger business. Dream big, build an empire. And I'll see you next Monday.